Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. I got something nice for you. It's about to get good. Let's rock. Radism, 25 rule live by. Storytelling, story with a message and story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. The numbers are good. I appreciate you. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life, and that's what it is. Through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide to keep you, excuse me, for you to obtain, help you, excuse me, right thinkers way of life, and that's what it is. Through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. Right thinkers, if you're a right thinker, your goal should be to know thyself. Let's work together and make it happen. So the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. And if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Let's go. Get you to know you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. Every now and then you got to deal with them. And I do. A person who knows, but knows not that they know, is spiritually asleep. It's okay. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I'd like to give a shout out to my man, Brother Rick Williams, Man to Man Think Tank. I said it on the lesson yesterday. Great message. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's do what we do. We're going to keep doing what we do. I appreciate you too. All right. Today, right thinkers, let's talk about. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, we at the bottom. Let's talk about creation, meditation, and the ENOD, aka principles. That's what we're gonna get into. That's my warehouse. Let's work. Starting out with objects of meditation. Oh, behold, with thine eyes, God's plan. If you can see God's plan, that means you know God, you're looking through God's eyes. So that means you know God and you are one. Devote thyself to adore God's name. Whatever you call him, Allah, Jehovah, Ishkabibble, whoever, but as long as you devote and do what you need to do, the name what you call him don't really matter because he tell you, I will be called by a myriad of names. So it ain't about the name. It is God who what? Who giveth souls to millions of forms. And it is God who what? Magnifieth who? Those who magnify him. Birds in the air can't magnify God. Fish in the sea can't magnify God. Beasts of the land can't magnify God. Only man who he gave us the conscious mind to do that can magnify him, and that's your choice. He gave you free will. I'm just trying to show you how to do it. If that's what you want to do, I know that. Let's go. From the ancient Egyptian wisdom text, watch this. We're giving you everything you need to know to do what you need to do for you. In the practice of meditation, which we've been doing, it is important to develop mental concentration. We've been working on that for the last few lessons. One can concentrate on a subtle object, such as what? First of all, breathe, the breath of thoughts, or gross objects, such as physical objects. Concentration assists in what? The program of spiritual evolution. How? By allowing the power of the mind to what? To be focused what? Toward the project of spiritual enlightenment. I got one goal. I have one goal to give you everything you need to reach your goal of being your best self by becoming what? Spiritually enlightened with knowledge of self. And this allows you, the aspirant, to what? Break the veil of what? Illusions that binds people to mortal, limited existence due to their ignorance, lack of knowledge. Simple. Well, yeah. The stages now, the sages have what? Have enjoined that one should concentrate how? On the divine images and on the name of the divine. I talk to my dad. I know who I'm talking to when I go into that meditative state. He ain't talking back. Don't get it wrong. No, no, no. But I have put a face, I put an image to my meditative state of mind. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You can put it anywhere you want. Once you get good at it, it'll work for you no matter what you do with it. Okay, now watch this. The sages have enjoined and should concentrate on watch this, the divine images and on what? The name of the divine. You have to identify with the God that you're worshiping. Oh God, oh God. Really? But these objects will yield, watch this, the greatest results and the most efficiently. Why? Because you identify with your higher self, that you commune with that, you have somebody to relate it to. Ancestral worship always works. Why? You can always find an ancestor you can grab onto and ride them. The names are concentrated upon what? Through Hessa, which is and Shema. Hessa is the chant, okay? I ain't big on that one. And you got Shema, which is divine singing. Another one, I ain't got a good singing voice, so those things don't move me, but I understand them. And the image is concentrated upon what? Through ritual, sustained visualizations of the images. I have that image back there for a reason. Okay, but where we at? Okay, here, right here. Now, you can have pictures, you can have sculptures, etc. Whatever you need to get that done. I have my memorial over there. Okay, depicting what? The divine. He gave me birth. To me, that's my higher self. What? In spirit, I'm reincarnated of him. Okay, that's what we do. Depicting the divine in all its forms and essence, be it male or female divinities, as well as what? You can even use abstract forms. I'm about to get into that next. Signs and symbols. Excuse me. Slow down. But the divinity emerged from what? The one supreme being through the act of what? Creation. We're about to get into that right now. And by concentrating upon the lesser divinities, insight is gained into what? The nature of the supreme divinity. The creation myths do what? Will allow you, the aspirant, here we go, to try to fully understand what? The nature of the divinities, and thereby you can develop a devotional feeling towards them that what? That develops into self-esteem and what? Love for the divine, leading you to spiritual enlightenment. And that's the goal for all human beings and the ultimate union with who? The divine. Now, let's get into the creation story, the cosmology and the cosmology of it, and then we're going to get into what I like to do. Get to the gods and the principles and what they represent. A lot of people really misinterpret and misunderstand. This is my chance to clear that thing up real good for everybody who don't know. Let's go. But the creation, right quick. The process of creation and the purpose of it so that you can start from the beginning. Everybody say in the beginning. We just say the creation. Same thing. Don't get caught up in the semantics of words. Get understanding of what they mean and then manifest it to see if it's true or not. Okay, you can't tell if something true and working out if you ain't tried it. So all that, well, I don't care. The process of creation is explained again in the form of cosmic system for what? Better understanding. And then you got cosmology, and that's a branch of philosophy dealing with what? The origin, the beginning, the process of how it is, aka creation, and the structure of what? the universe, aka the cosmic. Cosmogony, again, is now the astrophysical study of the creation and evolution of what? Of the universe. Sorry, calm down. Both of these disciplines, and that's what they are, disciplines that you can manifest for yourself by implementing in your life and inherit facets of what? Egyptian philosophies through the main religious systems or the companies of what they call the god and goddesses. Got a name for them too. A company of god and goddesses is a group of deities, what? Which symbolizes a particular cosmic force. Luke, use the force. Right thinkers, use the force. We have it. Watch this. Or the principle which emanates from what? The all-encompassing supreme being from which they have emerged. Everything comes from you see, the self. Watch this. Or the supreme being, we call the one, and manifests what? Creation through the through the properties of what? And principles. Properties and principles represented by what? The Paute, which is they call the company of God and goddesses, meaning male and female aspects, yin and yang concepts of cosmic law of nature, not man. The system or the company of gods, y'all call it, and goddesses, that's modern names. Ancient times we would call it Netter and Netteru, just to let you know. So same thing, just call it something different, but still the same thing. And you got the Anu is regarded as what? The Anu means the first time. It's the oldest and the form, the basis of what? The Asarian Trinity. It is expressed in the diagram I'm about to give it to you. We about to have some fun. This is one of them. Okay. They tell you the order, the sequence from the Nebuchadnezzar down. Okay. And each one of them is the aspect of your personality, not nothing else. And then we're going to go here. Oh, we about to have some fun. Okay. You see that? Yeah, look at them people. Yeah, all headdress. Okay. And then I'm going to take you over to the break all of this down for you. This is the fun for me. Okay. Everything in here represents you, your character, your personality from stem to stern. So don't tell me they didn't have knowledge of how we operate upstairs. We're way smarter, trust me. So let's talk about the ancient Egyptian path of enlightenment. This is the stairway. This is the concept. The diagram above shows what? The Sejet, meaning the Enid. Ennead. Google it and they tell you about the Egyptian gods. Okay, the Netero, they call them. Watch this. Or the creative principles. Again, the diagram shows that you have the Ennead, or what they call creative principles, which are embodied in the primordial gods and goddesses of what? Creation. Let's start at the top. Nabercha. That's the all-encompassing. That's the guy I tell you, suited and booted. That's him. He have every aspect, in him. Then you got Ra-Tem. Ra, what? Let there be light. He's the visible part of God, which is hidden, but he let Ra be the visible part, and Tem is him in the end. Alpha and Omega. Ra starts it, Tem is the end. That's that concept. Moving now, you got three other parts that ain't as part of the Ennead, but they not counted. You got Het Haru. That's the female power and aspect of Haru, his counselor, his consort, so to speak. That means lives in the house of Haru up there. She's the female aspect. And then you got my favorite, Tahuti, which is God's mind. He's the ibis bird or the baboon. They're going to break that down for you too. But all of these, we give it aspects. We're going to give them characteristics. We're going to give them life that you can study, understand, and then you can make that part of you. That's the idea of becoming one with your higher self. Then you got my favorite, Maya. She represents balance. Go on down. Then you got Shu, which is air. Tefnu, which is moist air. You got the earth, which is Gib. You got Nu, which is the heaven. Everything has the opposite, thanks to Mayat. From Mayat, you see everything now is what? Paired up. You got 9 of them. Then you got Set, the firstborn was Asar. Then you got Aset. Then you got Set. And then you got Nephat. Those are the gods. Why? Because the first five is just elements. Air, moist air, the earth, and heaven. The sixth element is what? The spirit that's in man. Hence the sixth. So don't get caught. Oh, that's the mark of the beast. That's the mark of the spirit that's in man according to our calculations. So let's talk about this right quick. Set and Nephat, husband and wife. Asar and Aset, husband and wife, brother and sister. But then you had a combination where Aset and Asar gave birth to who? Haru, us. That's the spark that caused man to be where we are in the physical form, conceptually. But then you have Asar and Nephat. Nephat represents mortality, nature. The spirit fell in love with nature. They got together. Their offspring became Anubis, Ampu, the discernment that's you needed for your character. And then the Enid. Let me go on. This is starting to get good to me. I'm about to get carried away. I'm about to not use the book, so bear with me. All right, where was I? Okay, here we go. Now you got to remember there are creative principles which are embodied in the primordial God and goddesses of creation, which emanated from the one supreme being. Ra or Ra Tim arose out of what? The new. Y'all know it as the watery abyss in the Bible, but we call it the new. And that's essentially God waiting to produce whatever it is he want to do. We call it the primeval waters and the hidden essence, which is where God is, and begin sailing what they call the boat of a million years. They've been doing this for a while. Get the concept? Okay. And which included what? The company of what we call God and goddesses. We call it the Paute. But on his boat emerged, mighty go, here come my crew, the netters, or what they call cosmic principles of creation. Again, air, sun, all these are elements, but they created forces that we gave identity to so that we can study, understand, and emulate. Trust me. If you told your Bible Christian followers that this is a book of allegorical stories, mythological stories, zodiacal stories, they would understand it and it would take it a lot better. They think this stuff is real. Therein lies the problem. But moving on, I don't have time for that. Tell you that lesson already. Moving on, let me start teaching our concepts, what we do and how it's done. When it's done correctly and understood, you'll get the point. I got a lot of people saying, I get it. Thank you. I appreciate you. That's why I do it for you. Let's go. Now, on the boat for many years, and that boat included the company of God and goddesses. On his boat emerged, okay, the God and goddess. Now, the netters of the Enid, or Enid, however you want to pronounce it. I hear everybody just say it, whatever, but the Enid. The netters of the Enid are, you ready? Ra, Atem. Then you got Shu, air. You know, Ra is the sun. Coming up is Capri. High noon, he's Ra. At the end, he's Tim. So that's where they got that from, beginning to end, Alpha and Omega. Okay, just let you know. Now, here we go. Shu, which is air. Tufnu, moist air. Geb, earth. We call it, Gaia called Mother Earth. Okay, another thing, but I ain't got time for that. Again, Geb was the male. Nut, which is female, which is heaven. Heaven between Nut's legs. Asar, which is the first spirit in the physical form, hence the first man. Aset, Set, and Nephat. Now you have Hatu, I gave you her name, Hatu, Tahudi, and Maya represents the attributes of what? The supreme being as what? The very stuff or substance which makes up creation. These are all elements that was already put in place. Why? We know God was all conscious, so he knew these things we would need. Come on, you can't humanize God when it suits your needs. No, God is always God, not because you change him, but that's what he is. Understand that. Don't call him all the absolute, all that title given, and then make him human. Don't work. Moving on. Conceptually. You got Shu, Tough Newt, Gad, Newt, Asar, Aset, Set, and that represents principles upon which creation manifests. Without air, Nothing. Without moist air, no water for the plants on Gib, and no heaven for us to shine down and for Ra to go across. So all these things was put in place way before we come into existence. That's being conscious, okay? And with you throw in Anpu, he's not part of the Enoch. Why? Because he's the offspring between spirit and mortality. He becomes the discerning part of your character. You need that. All everything, but it's the story that plays off through your life. Like, you be surprised. Trust me. And he represents what? The feature of what? Intellectual discrimination in the Asarian myth. He plays a role. And sailing signifies what? The Big Bang, the beginning of motion in creation. How could you just say, oh, the Big Bang, and what happened at the Big Bang? Everything just come together. It don't work that way. At least we had a concept that we can lay out for you to get you understanding in creation. And motion implies what? That events occur where? In the realm now of what? Time and space. Thus, the phenomenal universe comes into what? Existence as a mass of moving essence we call elements. Prior to this motion, there was what? The primeval state of being, which was just sitting, waiting for something to happen. Potential, total potential, like we are as human beings. We born into the world potentially to be whatever we can conceive, we can be. That's godlike. And we in the flesh. That's the only difference. Sorry about that. But prior to this motion, there was nothing. And watch this. Without existence, we would not have time and space. So we cause that to happen. We take you along the lines of how it happened, not just what the Big Bang. And I'm supposed to just what happened to the Big Bang? Moving on. It's a time and place for science. Right quick. Nope, I'm gonna stop right here. Why? Because I'm about to get into some good stuff and I want to start fresh. So, right thinkers, this is the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. But we moving into now, we start learning these principles and the creative concepts that we teach you about that y'all call God and goddesses. They're only aspects of your character. I'm gonna show that to you and explain it to you. Hope you get the understanding. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Right now, in closing, all you right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. And be 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinker like you passed away. I'll be right back.